Rich Paul literally just said that being an athlete is the hardest job in the world. Listen, if it's not Rich Paul, it's LeBron James. It's either something dumb that they say or something dumb that they do that constantly brings us content to share.
A major sports agent has just made an absolutely shocking statement on live television. Sitting comfortably as a multimillionaire executive, he somehow attempted to reshape the way people view the reality of everyday work. The sports world is now openly mocking an explanation that seems so disconnected from ordinary life that it has become almost impossible to take seriously. So, do you really believe that being a multimillionaire professional athlete is the hardest job in the world, as Rich Paul suggests? Or is this one of the most out-of-touch statements ever made by a sports executive? Let me know what you think in the comments below.
You got to hear these comments from Rich Paul. Rich Paul has made many comments, and I've called him out on some on this show in the past months. And every time he seems to open his mouth and try to be or sound very intelligent and logical, the stuff that comes out of his mouth just doesn't make any sense. I mean, right now he's sitting outdoors talking to two guys, and he makes a statement which literally doesn't make any sense. It's an embarrassing statement. He literally says that an athlete is the hardest job in the world, and the arguments for that statement that he gives.
We seriously need to talk about the current state of reality in the sports world, because the level of disconnect we're seeing has reached an entirely new level. It feels like every time we get a brief break from LeBron James making another questionable statement during a press conference, someone from his inner circle immediately steps in to keep the circus going. And when LeBron isn't talking about the unbelievable challenges he's supposedly faced, his longtime friend and billionaire agent Rich Paul is right there ready to take center stage. This time, Paul delivered a statement so completely out of touch that it honestly makes you wonder whether these people have ever experienced the everyday life of an ordinary person.
Arguments for that statement that he gives are as dumb as that argument, as that statement. It boggles my mind that a guy that once said the goodest, not the best, but the goodest. That's what he said in a podcast with Max Kellerman, and I called that out on one of my shows. With so much intelligence,
Rich Paul recently appeared on a podcast with two media personalities for a relaxed outdoor interview, surrounded by an atmosphere of obvious luxury and comfort. He seemed to view the conversation as the perfect chance to present himself as someone with deep insight into society and a highly rational perspective. But the moment he delivered what he apparently believed was a profound observation, his comments came across as so awkward and unbelievable that they left people stunned. With a completely serious expression, Rich Paul looked at the hosts and confidently declared that being a professional athlete is officially the hardest job in the entire world.
Athletes have the hardest job in the world. They take everybody to work with them. You at work. And nobody with you. You get what I'm saying? But they take everybody to work with them. Because of that, it's a very difficult thing to be a professional athlete. Not to mention, $100 million, really $50 million after taxes, right? Now you got to multiply that times your dependents, right? Then break it down from there. When an athlete makes money, everybody around them stop working. That don't make sense though. When the CEO of, Amazon gets, when that person got promoted to become CEO, I can guarantee you, nobody stopped working.
Imagine somebody saying this kind of stuff and being serious about it. Like, he's dead serious about it. Let me explain one thing. First thing he says is this: when athletes achieve success, they take everybody to work with them. When they achieve success, start making millions of dollars, everybody around them stop working.
Rich Paul's recent comments about professional athletes being the hardest workers have sparked major backlash. His argument was that athletes carry their families and entire social circles financially. According to Paul, a massive contract can shrink dramatically after taxes and expenses. He suggested that this creates a unique level of pressure for professional athletes. But that argument completely ignores personal responsibility and financial boundaries. Not every athlete is required to support hundreds of friends and relatives. If someone chooses to give away millions, that is a personal decision. It is not automatically a consequence of playing professional sports. Paul also compared athletes to CEOs of massive corporations. He claimed the families of CEOs do not suddenly stop working after a promotion. But wealthy executives can also provide incredible financial security for their families. Their spouses may work because they want to, not because they have to. Their children can receive the best education and opportunities available. So Paul's comparison does not really prove his point. The bigger issue is the lack of perspective behind his statement. Millions of ordinary workers face difficult conditions every single day. Consider workers on offshore oil rigs, for example. They spend months away from their families in extremely dangerous environments. They perform exhausting physical labor while constantly risking their lives. And they earn only a tiny fraction of what professional athletes make. Then there are firefighters who run into burning buildings to save strangers. Police officers and soldiers also face serious danger while serving the public. Construction workers spend long hours doing physically demanding labor in extreme weather. Many workers struggle simply to pay their bills and support their families. Comparing those realities to playing professional sports is difficult to defend. Professional athletes certainly face pressure, injuries, criticism, and intense competition. But they also receive enormous financial rewards and incredible privileges. Luxury hotels, private travel, elite facilities, and multi-million-dollar contracts are part of that lifestyle. That does not mean athletes have no struggles. It simply means their struggles should be placed into proper perspective. The same problem appeared during the NBA bubble era. Players complained about being separated from their families while living in luxury resorts. Meanwhile, soldiers and essential workers were facing far more dangerous circumstances. This is why statements like Rich Paul's can sound completely disconnected from reality. The sports industry has created an environment where superstars are often treated like untouchable celebrities. Their agents can also become extremely wealthy from representing those players. Rich Paul built an impressive career, but that does not make every statement he makes automatically correct. Saying athletes have the hardest jobs in the world is an extreme claim. There are countless professions involving greater physical danger and far less financial reward. Workers around the world routinely sacrifice their health, safety, and family time just to survive. They do not receive millions of dollars for their efforts. That is the perspective missing from Paul's argument. If managing massive wealth and supporting family members is overwhelming, those are still personal choices. Nobody forces a wealthy athlete to financially support every person around them. Strong boundaries and responsible financial decisions can solve many of those problems. Professional sports are incredibly demanding, but they are also incredibly rewarding. That distinction should never be ignored. Ordinary workers deserve respect for the difficult jobs they perform every day. They should not be lectured by multimillionaires about what real hardship looks like. Imagine trading a luxury professional sports lifestyle for construction work in extreme summer heat. Most people would immediately understand how different those realities truly are. The sports world desperately needs more perspective. Athletes can struggle while still living extraordinarily privileged lives. Both things can be true at the same time. Rich Paul may believe his argument is logical, but many everyday fans clearly disagree. Millions of hardworking people understand exactly what difficult labor looks like. Playing basketball for millions of dollars is demanding, but calling it the hardest job on earth is another story. The sports industry should remember who supports it. Fans work ordinary jobs and spend their hard-earned money to watch these athletes compete. That deserves recognition and respect. Instead of glorifying every complaint from wealthy celebrities, sports media should provide some balance. Professional athletes deserve criticism when their statements become completely detached from reality. The same standard should apply to their agents and executives. Rich Paul's comments have once again opened the debate about privilege in professional sports. And this time, the backlash is understandable, because millions of workers around the world would gladly trade places with a professional athlete. If you want more raw NBA breakdowns and controversial sports analysis, hit like